So it appears that Susie Wiles said a few things about not just not just the president, but just things in general. And Vanity Fair, of course, decided to show these guys in a not so brilliant light. And I know you have some thoughts. I think some of it is definitely lowbrow. Colin, can I get the article from NBC News that I sent over?
I think it's brilliant. So probably by now a lot of people in here have seen other people commenting on the Vanity Fair. I guess it was like a whole series, a whole section,
Yes.
whatever, the Vanity Fair issue. And it's really fascinating because we were talking about this earlier. I actually think of anybody in this vicinity, the one person who I would think has a brain would be Susie Wiles. And yet she agreed to 11 interviews. She granted Vanity Fair access 11 times. So you have to wonder then, is that an intentional sabotage situation? Is she sort of sending an SOS from inside the house? Is she sort of just making it look like she'll have plausible deniability when they start coming for them, like the Nuremberg trials? Like, I don't know what she's doing, but there's no way she's stupid. So then why would she give them this access and share the shit that she shared? And this doesn't even begin to get into the pictures. That's just, that photographer needs to win every artistic award of the year. Bravo. Bravo.
Well, I think that we indicated that there are, again, Trump will come and go. His movement will come and go because it's being splintered right now. But there are people that are still fiercely loyal to the GOP, and they don't want to see it completely get, kiboshed in the midterms. And so I do think that these stories are coming out because they're trying to weed themselves of the problems that are within the party. And I do believe that some of the people in question, starting with somebody like Stephen Miller and Marco Rubio, are the ones that come to mind the most in terms.
Do we have the pictures? We're going to go through the pictures, right?
No, but I don't know how many are in here, but this is a pull from NBC News. So, Colin, if you could scroll, please. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles reflected on President Trump's second term in a series of interviews for a two-part profile published Tuesday by Vanity Fair, speaking candidly about key players in the administration who have influence over the president and some of the administration's more controversial policies. Wiles, 68, spoke to Vanity Fair writer Chris Whipple, an expert on White House chiefs of staff. 11 times over the past year about a range of issues, including the administration's Venezuela strategy and efforts to slash the size of the federal government. She said that Trump has an alcoholic's personality, despite the fact that Trump does not drink alcohol, making a comparison to her father, television sportscaster. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that Susie Wiles' father is Pat Summerall. Do you know who Pat Summerall is?
Of course.
Okay. Whom she said suffered from alcoholism. Some clinical psychologist that knows 1 million times more than I do will dispute what I'm going to say, but high-functioning alcoholics, or alcoholics in general, their personalities are exaggerated when they drink. And so I'm not a little bit of an expert in big personalities. She added that Trump operates with a view that there's nothing he can do wrong. Nothing, zero, nothing.
It doesn't say wrong that there's nothing he can't do.
There's nothing he can't do. Okay. Well, I thought that's.
I'm just
somewhat of the same point. But Trump responded to her comment in an interview with the New York Post, saying she's done a really fantastic job. She sucks, but I gotta make 10 appearances. You see, I don't drink alcohol, so everyone knows that. But I've often said that if I did, I'd have a very good chance of being an alcoholic. I've had that many times about myself. It's a very possessive personality. Trump added, I'm fortunate I'm not a drinker. If I did, I could very well, because I've said that. What's the word? Not possessive. Possessive and addictive type personality. Oh, I've said it many times before. Wiles, who Vanity Fair reported had a live feed of Trump's Truth Social post playing on a freestanding video monitor in her office, originally planned to serve as his chief of staff for 6 months. I'm not an enabler. I'm also not a bitch. I try to be thoughtful about what I even engage in. I guess time will tell whether I've been effective. Jen, would you like to take that?
I think she's like sending an SOS to the world with this, but Wiles said confidently that Trump won't run for a third term, even though he has floated it occasionally. We'll get to that later when we talk about him and Miriam. He knows he can't run again, she said, adding that the 22nd Amendment makes it pretty unequivocal, and said Trump has said as much to her. After the interviews were published, Wiles denounced the story on X as a disingenuously framed hit piece on me and the finest president, White House chief of staff, and cabinet in history, she said. Significant context was disregarded, and it was done to paint an overwhelmingly chaotic and negative narrative about the president and our team. So I think like we don't need to read the whole article of everything she said. I mean, I thought we were going to more go over how Vanity Fair made a point to do this, but there's no way that after 11 interviews that you get to then claim things taken out of context, right? Like you granted them access 11 times. That's why I don't know. And then she comes and now she's saying like, oh, I can't believe they did that. But that's like, is she doing that so that the rest of them don't know she's in on it? Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to see what I can grab for you.
Like, I don't know what it's on the one hand, she's airing the dirty laundry very willingly. She's the one who agreed to this again, multiple times. She's a professional person. You give access to the press. This is what happens. This is what happens. Yep. And there's no way she didn't know that this is what could happen. No, that's what's like there's no way she didn't realize that. So is she sending a signal of some kind that she's not in on this and just sort of trying to like distance herself? So when shit really hits the fan, I don't know what to make of any of this.
It's a fair point. And I think that they were perhaps blindsided, but they're also not the sharpest tools in the shed.
Oh, God, these pictures. Guys, if you haven't had an opportunity to see both the close-ups and the full photos of the cabinet people, highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. This won't do it justice, but yeah.
Well, it's just a start, but Susie Wiles has no lips. Like, my
she's the best, and she's the best one of them all. They did her the nicest. The rest of them.
You know what the problem is with so many of these channels today and why they're all going to fail? You see, they can't get advertising anymore. They can't get people to pay money. And as a result, you're in a situation where they have to charge people to come to their website, but no one's who's paying. That's the thing about the internet. If you're not offering content that isn't completely devoid of real substance and ultimately ends up being something that's just
so guys, she does have the crazy eyes. She does have the crazy eyes for sure. But what's interesting is now that I've seen her close up again, for those of you who have not, you've got to see Caroline Leavitt's. The fact that Caroline Leavitt is 29 years old, you guys need to see the close up on her. And honestly, something is not right there. And forget the fact that every content creator is mocking the fact that you could see literally her lip injection marks around her lips, which is pretty bad. But if you guys get a chance to see these, how they look on the magazine or in the magazine, every wrinkle, every pore, you even see that they didn't, if you guys look closely on Caroline Leavitt's nose, her makeup isn't even blended. And this is the kind of stuff that Vanity Fair would Photoshop like every single one of these pictures, and the lighting and how gross and gray and how is intentional. This is an artistic protest against this administration.
Yeah, J.D. Vance looks like the town friar of some kind from like 1,000 years ago. Stephen Miller looks
like Goebbels.
like Goebbels. He looks
Well,
like
someone put this picture up. The reason they did this picture with that lighting is it actually mirrors an old photo of Goebbels, and someone put them next to each other, which is one of the things that I think the Vanity Fair team was sort of getting at. And the photos they showed of them, all full body photos in different rooms, the photos are crooked, the lighting is bad, they make them all look small, they make Marco Rubio look like he can't stand upright. Like, these are the most unflattering, ugly, yet professional photos you can. This is brilliant. Really, it's a great form of protest. I love it. I'm here for it.
Well, I'm going to show you guys one particular photograph that I do think, if there is, because again, I just care about who are the most dangerous people. And the most dangerous person in terms of wanting to inflict pain and harm on every person he can is Stephen Miller. Now, I'm not saying Marco Rubio isn't a psycho in his own right. He's just a small man, and he feels that he has to always prove himself because he's a small man in many ways. But there is no question that
this is what I'm telling you. Yeah.
There is no denying the reality of this photograph.
This is what I'm saying. And there's no way that the photographer and the team at Vanity Fair did not do that purposefully. Yes. The lighting is identical. And by the way, the lighting is not really good lighting. So the photographer could have had all of these people in their best and have them looking glowing and lovely and photoshopped and pretty. And they purposefully did this. Oh, I'm so here for this.
You have to remember, if our channel was not having an impact, then pro-Israel lobby groups would not be playing ads on our channel.
It's hilarious, though. It's really a waste of money. Like, you really, if people are already with us, they're gone to them, right? Like, that's such a waste. That's like what we would call like campaigning for a Democrat in a plus 28 Republican district.
Well, you also have to remember that there are probably, I mean, listen, we don't have, I mean, we're at 350 right now, but, you know, if we really got up there, like when we get up to like 800, 1,000, you will get hate watchers. And for the hate watchers that are loving Israel, yeah, they probably want to see those ads. There's like a big Jews for Jesus ad that's been playing constantly. It's like a minute and a half long.
I never see it. I don't get ads. I don't get ads.
But again, the thing about somebody like Stephen Miller, he sees this photograph of him and he probably thinks it's the coolest thing he's ever seen. Oh, man, yeah, I look really cool in that photo.
He quoted Goebbels at that last time when he made that ridiculous speech. He quoted Goebbels.
Yeah.
So that's his idol right there.
So these men and women, very small indeed,
God,
they did not. First of all, how they didn't know what they were walking into with somebody like Vanity Fair shows you just how completely off the mark they really are in general. And when you put people in positions of power, and this again comes from the fact that Trump is paranoid, rightfully so. I'm not saying that Trump shouldn't be paranoid considering what he's had to deal with over the past decade plus. But when you are such a bull in a china shop, when you are such a gauche, unkempt type person, you're going to surround yourself with probably similar type people. And also you're going to surround yourself with nothing but kiss asses to tell you how great you are. And somebody like Stephen Miller and somebody like Marco Rubio, I mean, it'd be no different than having somebody like Lindsey Graham in your administration. The reason he has those people around isn't because he's ideologically lined up with them. It's because they know what to do to make an impression on him. They know how to kiss his ass, and that's what he cares about above anything else.
I think Marco Rubio is there because Miriam Adelson wanted him to be VP, and Trump said no, and that was like the next best thing. Also, guys, I didn't get to say on Marco Rubio's close-up, you actually see his hair transplant line. Like this is some, like you could see all the little hairs like that are just straight. Like it's so not good. Or where his hair is receding. It's not good. But yeah. They were done really wrong in a beautiful way.